and welcome to our Beltane Tarot video. I know this is going up late, and I very much appreciate your patience as I got caught up to being able to do this one. If you come across this video, even if it's not Beltane, even if it's not May 1st of 2022, the guidance here is meant for you. At least one of these readings is meant to aid you in some aspect of your life. So please take what resonates, even if you do not have the sign that a reading is intended for. If it calls to you, if it speaks directly to a situation in its life, it is most likely meant for you, and meant for you to see through the lens of someone who has that sign, if that makes sense. This is going to be structured very similarly to the last two videos that I did. We are doing 12 readings in a row, 3 card readings from my original Waite-Smith tarot deck. This is the very first tarot deck, and it's been my longest friend in my spiritual journey. I'm also going to be pulling a single card for each reading out of the Isis Oracle by Alana Fairchild. It is much more spiritually driven, so that is the focus of those cards, and they're beautiful, beautiful art. It is all inspired by aspects of Egyptian or Kemetic myth regarding the goddess Isis. So yeah, that is our basic setup, and we are currently, I have some nifty calendars with the zodiac. We are at the beginning of May, so we are still in Taurus season, so we are going to be starting with Taurus, the bull, and we will work our way all the way back around to Aries, the ram. Let's do this. Oh, I've mentioned in previous videos, so I guess I'll mention today. I'm just drinking water today out of a really cute cup that was a bridesmaid gift at my friend's wedding last year. It's been ridiculously hot already here in Louisiana. It was like upwards of 80 degrees consistently for the last week, and I've been sweating a lot. Hydration's important, friends. And I don't know what scent this incense is because it was loose in my box, but I have a bunch of floral scents set aside for today because it's Beltane. I will be reading 3 cards plus the bottom of the deck. I need to clarify that. And the bottom of the deck just serves to give a better overall context and specify a little more what the reading itself is pertaining to. Let's get our 3 cards, shall we? 3 cards for Taurus. Whoa, okay. 3 of Cups inverted, Knight of Swords inverted, 4 of Wands upright, 8 of Cups inverted for the bottom of the deck. 1 card, High Priestess. 8 of Cups inverted points to some sort of confusion, fear of the unknown, or fear of loss. You are afraid of losing something. You are afraid of things that you do not understand or do not have answers for right now. And it could very well be what you do not know is what lies ahead, based on all of the cards that I'm seeing here. You don't have a clear direction or a clear decision, a clear plan for where you want to go and what you want to do in some context. Cups is emotional, so it's probably a very emotional decision. It is probably a relationship this unknown and this fear is existing in. The 3 of Cups inverted points to a lack of individuality. There's a herd mentality. You are conforming. Knight of Swords also points to this lack of direction and this lack of focus. He's unpredictable, he has no direction, and he's disregarding consequence. You are so afraid of this loss, or so afraid of this unknown. You've been just blindly following something that you consider safe. The best decision for others may not be the best decision for you. The 4 of Wands is part of your solution here. The 4 of Wands is community. It is home. It is happiness. It very often points to marriage and or some other sort of celebration. Your community is meant to help you, but not in the way that you've been acting. To talk with them, but you need to follow your own path. Along with this, have some patience. Work through the emotions that are causing you to act this way right now, Taurus, but have some patience because the High Priestess is directly stating that the answers you've been lacking and the direction that you've been lacking is coming. Don't be so afraid of loss that you stop being your own person. You are going to get the answers that you lack, Taurus. Take some deep breaths. This revelation will come in its time. Just need to be patient and be ready to receive it. Gemini. Buckle up. Bottom card of the deck is the Tower. Sudden upheaval, potentially disastrous, ultimately a significant blow to ego and pride is coming, if it hasn't already happened. We also have Justice upright, cause and effect, consequences coming to you based on your actions, not necessarily in a bad way. We have the Six of Pentacles inverted, which is selfishness or debt. In the third spot, we have the King of Pentacles upright, who, in stark contrast to the Six of Pentacles inverted, is abundance and power and security. I am getting a very driven image and intuitive understanding that this is something, and not just because of the Pentacles, but this is something related to your career and your finances, your tangible, investable resources. This is your time, this is your energy, this is your money. The Isis Oracle is the flower of life. I'll get to her in a moment. I think Gemini is going to end up with very little wiggle room in terms of one resource. You're either going to have very little time to spare, just enough energy to do things, very low on money. Perhaps you will suddenly be without a job and need a new one, changing homes, something in that sort of regard. You're going to have some sort of a debt or be without. That is what's sticking out to me more so than the concepts of selfishness that come with the Six of Pentacles when it's inverted. But that is going to allow for something else to come into abundance. And it's going to allow for you to work back up to abundance with that. I hope that makes sense. Adding to the situation and to the understanding of the situation is the Flower of Life from the Isis Oracle. You are coming into a time of abundant creative energy, and you're going to need to use that creativity to work out of the situation that you end up in, Gemini. In spite of this debt from the Six of Pentacles, you are entering a fertile period of your life. Focus on your innate creativity and how potent this is becoming. Surrender control over how things manifest and flow with the changes and let them happen rather than resisting. That's one of the big things with the Tower. Don't try to resist it because you're going to cause yourself more harm than good. Focus on what you can control. But this is a time for you to blossom. In spite of whatever the Tower and Justice and the Six of Pentacles bring for you, the Flower of Life and the King of Pentacles are telling you that you are capable of getting through this and you are capable of building back up from whatever low may be about to occur here. You can get through this time, Gemini. I believe in you. For Cancer, we have the bottom of the deck, the Three of Cups upright, community, happiness, friendship, often reunion and celebration. The Fool, new beginnings, free spirit. Five of Swords, which is unbridled ambition, trying to win at all costs, perhaps some sneakiness. And the Knight of Wands, who is all action and movement and adventure and fearlessness. The Isis Oracle is Truths Unveiled. You beginning to have the revelation that something is not as it seems. We'll get into that. Cancer mostly looks good to me. You're in a great time with your personal relationships. You're happy, you're surrounded by your friends and family, you're celebrating things, and you're just very involved with your community and your closest relationships. You're experiencing some new beginnings along with that. Free spirit, you're taking the leap of faith. However, the Five of Swords and the Isis Oracle both give me the sense of something being other than it seems. And that disparity between what's on the surface and what's underneath is potentially a problem. The Isis Oracle specifically, trust your inner feeling rather than being convinced by the outward and the superficial. Some situation in your life, especially involving a relationship, is not as you have first made it out to be. Something in one of these relationships is not right and is not the way that you have been made to believe it is, either by your own psyche convincing you nothing's wrong or by the other person actively convincing. Either way, this needs to be addressed. If they're truly family or friend to you, they need to be able to be honest with you. Knight of Wands is action, adventure, and fearlessness though. So I think you in this case are the Fool, and I suspect the other person is the Knight of Wands. They are someone who is very, very focused on some goal. They're incredibly passionate about this goal, and they've been so focused on this goal that they have perhaps started using other people as means to an end, rather than the friendship that they initially had with this person. Because the Knight of Wands can be someone so highly focused on action that they are brash, impulsive, and unrealistic. And whether they do so outwardly or not, I think this person needs to be sat down and talked with. And if you and others around you have all been noticing this, having a few people in the conversation might make it that much better. Murky stuff to navigate, but you're not too late to resolve this issue, Cancer. Best of luck. We have, I think, a much needed exercise in humility or restraint for Leo. We have the Devil upright as the bottom of the deck. Excess and materialism usually are what that is. It can also just be a playfulness, the fear, obsession, and insecurity that holds humanity back from full potential. We have the Ace of Pentacles, which is a missed opportunity. Sorry, Ace of Pentacles inverted. Page of Swords also inverted. Hastiness, rushing through, all talk, and no follow through. And the Knight of Cups upright is comfort, emotional stability, and luxury. The Knight of Cups can also have a sense of smugness to it, which is actually immediately what I felt when I flipped it. Kind of a sitting on a high horse, look at me, I'm better than you kind of mentality. Leo, not doing great right now, are we? The Isis Oracle is the Eye of Horus, which is awakening divine perception. Leo, you are too concerned with the material right now, and you're so focused on these tangible things that are, I think, to you, a benchmark for your definition of success, and it's turning your mind away from more important things, from bigger things. You're missing opportunities, you're acting and thinking too hastily, and you're talking a big game, but you're not doing anything to affect any real change. The longer you sit there talking about it, but not doing the thing, the less time you're gonna have to do the thing. And you might end up with several chances, several opportunities, several projects that end up falling to the wayside because all you did was talk about it. You gotta do the thing. That's what's pointedly missing here. I have a major arcana and I have 3 out of the 4 suits. What isn't here are wand cards, which are action. That is the long and short of it, Leo. The Eye of Horus is awakening divine perception, a stamp of divine encouragement, approval, and protection. You have the gifts that you need to do the thing you're wanting to do, so now you need to do it. Especially because as you follow this path, as you work toward your goal, these skills and these gifts are going to improve. They are going to grow, and you're going to be able to do even more as you keep progressing. On top of which, the Eye of Horus tells you that you are protected. What have you got to lose at this point? Come on, Leo. Do it. Virgo. This is kind of rough. The bottom card of the deck is the Tower inverted, which points to avoidance of change, avoiding disaster, delaying disaster, trying so hard to avoid problems and sudden changes and sudden upheaval that you effectively paralyze yourself. And you kind of have done that. I've been thinking today, as I've been shuffling the cards for each of the readings, about something I came across recently where a lot of tarot readers, if they end up with all the cards upside down, will just go, well, you just had the deck upside down, silly, and they'll flip all the cards upright. And I feel like something was teasing me with that because all of these came out inverted. Based on the meanings of the cards, inverted feels more correct here for all 4 of them. Based on the cards that are in front of me and their meanings, I'm pretty sure I would get the same result either way. The Tower in general is pointing to some sort of sudden upheaval. For it to be inverted, it means that you know this change is coming and you are so focused on trying to avoid it that you are causing more problems for yourself. The Ace of Cups, either position, is an overflowing of emotion. When inverted, your cup has run empty. You are over emotional about things to the point of becoming apathetic or empty. Creativity has been blocked. There's a very serious overflowing and overwhelming amount of emotion around whatever the situation is. The Chariot, also inverted, is a lack of control and a lack of direction. It also points to some aggression. The King of Cups is also an emotional card. Has to do with the concepts of compassion, control, and balance. When inverted, points to manipulation, moodiness, and trickery. Ultimately, the reason I think these make more sense inverted is because of the soul retrieval card from the Isis Oracle. Some sort of sudden change has sent you off your rocker, and all of your emotions have been tainted by this upheaval. All of your energy has been scattered. You are completely out of sorts. I think the focus for you right now, Virgo, is to sit down, get your mind off of whatever this is for at least a day, and focus on getting your emotions in check, on replenishing your energy, and making sure that whatever this is not affecting your ability to live day-to-day life. Because this, very likely, is a very big picture issue, and it's something that needs to be dealt with over a longer span of time. You are feeling an overwhelming sense of lack of power, of lack of control, and you might not have any say in the situation, except you do have control over yourself. You do have control over how you react, and you have control over how you act from that point. On top of which, and this will help with all of this, the Isis Oracle is a card called Soul Retrieval. Soul Retrieval is calling you to take the time to call back your energy and the parts of yourself that have been left behind or lost to former loves, former friends, old jobs, past homes, and especially to traumatic experiences. You leave a piece of yourself behind in a lot of circumstances and for a lot of reasons. Any relationship that you have had, you have left a piece of yourself with that other person, and that other person left a piece of themselves with you. Any place that you have held near and dear, you've left a part of yourself there, and you now carry a part of that place with you. Especially anything that has been traumatic will cause you to leave a piece of yourself there, and that piece often gets replaced by any coping mechanisms or any behavioral changes as a result of the trauma. You need to call back to yourself all of the energy and every piece of yourself that's been lost, because you're going to need all of yourself whole to navigate this change. And I think that's part of why you've been struggling with it. You don't have all of yourself right now. Do this first, and the rest will follow. You'll be okay, Virgo. For Libra, we have the Three of Swords inverted as the bottom of the deck, the Four of Swords also inverted, the Eight of Wands upright, and the Queen of Swords upright. Along with these, the Isis Oracle is Divine Sisterhood. Libra has been through some sort of grief recently, but you are recovering and moving on and finding your strength again. You are still dealing with some anxiety or some depression, some, restlessness, as the Four of Swords points to. You're burned out and you're stressed. When you've been through whatever you've been through, it makes sense. You would still be dealing with some of these emotions and some of these issues, but you are moving on. Unfortunately, despite being kind of stressed and kind of burned out, the Eight of Wands points to rapid action, movement, and quick decision. You are going to have to make, and that might be part of why you're stressed. You're already burned out, but you're going to have to make a series of very quick decisions and very quick actions. You may not quite have enough time to breathe in between each of these decisions, but you're still going to need to make all of these decisions. Don't end up with a Two of Swords situation where you can't decide and life ends up deciding for you. I know you're stressed, and I know you're tired, and I know you're burned out, and I know you're recovering from all of this, but you're going to have to make these decisions. You can and will make these decisions. The Queen of Swords is in this reading. Libra is an air sign. You're all about the mind. You're all about intellect. And you're all about using your mind to navigate situations with the truth of the situation, finding the truth between the two sides, finding the balance between two things. You are the scales, after all. The Queen of Swords has the perception and the clear mind to get through all of this quick action and these rapid decisions that you're gonna have to make. You can think complexly enough and clearly enough to get through this. It seems overwhelming now, but just take it one at a time. It's gonna be really close together, but it's still gonna come to you one at a time. Take as much time as you have, examine every decision, and make the best one, move on. You can do this. Alongside this, Divine Sisterhood points to community. Turn to your community. You do not have to face all of this alone. You never did. Your community is meant to help you and is able to help you. So let them help you. And they care about you and they love you. If they are able to help, let them help. And you will be all the better for it. You are fully equipped to face what lies ahead. You got this, Libra. Scorpio, we have Justice upright, the Hanged Man, also upright, the Six of Wands, also upright, and the Two of Swords, inverted. The Isis Oracle has drawn the Brother in Darkness. I'm actually going to start with the Isis Oracle for you. The Brother in Darkness points to some sort of negative energy. This could be within yourself, or it could be outward in the world but directed toward you. Some sort of negative energy is involved with this situation and in your life right now. And it is meant to be a spiritual test for you. You need to navigate and resolve and overcome this negativity with grace and with compassion, loving through the negativity to the other side, rather than letting it make you bitter and make you cold. Some sort of natural consequence to past actions is occurring right now. From this, we have the Hanged Man, who represents the concept of sacrificing comfort for the sake of a new perspective in some way. The Hanged Man in general is sacrifice, release, and martyrdom. It's getting out of your comfort zone for the sake of understanding. The Six of Wands is victory, success, or public reward. Some sort of tough battle has recently occurred in some context, and the outcome is being publicly celebrated. The Two of Swords points to indecision as a result of neither choice being particularly good. It's effectively choosing between the lesser of two evils. It is a necessary choice, but it is not a comfortable choice. The Hanged Man and the Two of Swords go very well together. The Six of Wands is sticking out to me. I feel that there's a mental battle going on here for Scorpio. I think some sort of mental comfort with how you've viewed something or how you've thought about something is having to happen right now as a result of actions you've taken, actions other people have taken, things that have happened in the greater world, and you're gonna have to sacrifice the comfort of your previous viewpoints, previous perspectives, previous beliefs in order to fully explore every aspect of this situation, and you're gonna have to make a decision on which perspective is actually the better one to move forward with. You will be the better for it, for having gone through this mental struggle and thinking so thoroughly about this and making this decision. And ultimately, this change of perspective and this change of viewpoint and this decision will aid you moving forward in some way. And the concept of doing this and potentially changing your viewpoint, especially if you've been really stalwart in these views, can be a scary thing, and you've perhaps been avoiding it. And I think that's where that negative energy is coming from. You may have been so convinced for so long that your current viewpoint was the right one, so you perhaps are afraid of changing sides. But that might not necessarily be what happens. And even if you do change sides, you've taken the time to examine everything before you've done so. So you have to believe that whatever decision is made at the end, you're gonna pick the choice that is ultimately better for you. And that is a good thing. Grace and compassion for yourself, especially as you navigate all of this. I hope that made sense. There you go, Scorpio. Sagittarius is going through some great stuff, actually. We have the Nine of Pentacles, which points to the fruits of some sort of labor, independence, and reward. So Sagittarius has been working towards some sort of goal, and you are nearly there. You've really been seeing the fruit of this labor, and you're very close to the end, and you just have a little bit more to go before you reach that Ten of Pentacles, that establishment of a legacy, and then you can move on to other things. These cards mostly are serving as a reminder of not only your capability of getting through this, but something that needs to be addressed. We have the High Priestess upright and the Emperor upright. We also have the Two of Pentacles inverted. The Isis Oracle is Divine Guardian. High Priestess and Emperor both are telling me to tell you that you have all the qualities you need to make that last bit of effort toward the completion of your goal. High Priestess is all about intuition and inner thought, your inner voice, and the subconscious. You have the intuition, and you need to listen to that intuition and to your inner voice to navigate the last few steps here. The Emperor is authority and control. You have the authority, you have the control. Structure is what's needed here, and you're mostly there. The Two of Pentacles says that there's a lack of balance and some disorganization going on, and that perhaps needs to be addressed for you to fully be able to reach the end here. Divine Guardian says that you are protected as you do this. So just work on this balance and this lack of organization. Be confident knowing that you have all the other qualities you need to do this, and you have spiritual protection as you do this. Okay, Sagittarius, stay on the move, reach this goal, knowing full well that you are capable. You got this. Okay, friends, as you can clearly see, there's been a bit of a time skip. Explanation is in the descriptive tome, but let's continue on to Capricorn. For Capricorn, we have the Wheel of Fortune inverted as the bottom of the deck, and the three main cards, the Ace of Swords inverted, the Six of Swords inverted, and the Queen of Swords upright. Lots of swords, lots of dealing with mind and wit and mental state. And the Isis Oracle has given us divine protection. So, as with one of the previous readings, Capricorn, you are protected and you are being reassured and being supported in a very big way by your spirit guides, your ancestors, whatever deity or higher power you may believe in as you move through this time. And this is meant to be a transitional time, but that transition is not going super well. Wheel of Fortune inverted points first to you potentially having had some sort of string of bad luck recently. And while that's unfortunate, the wheel must turn upright again at some point. Everything's a cycle. So this string of bad luck is going to improve, and you are going to be on the better side of the wheel, the better section of the wheel, I guess, because technically circles don't have sides. Not the point. You are going to be atop the wheel again relatively soon. Your luck is going to change for you. In the meantime, this bad luck you've been dealing with, whatever situation you're in, you have been distinctly feeling a lack of control. You need to find a way to shift your focus to the things that you can control. Concern yourself with those rather than clinging desperately to some semblance of control over things that you can't. The Ace of Swords inverted says that you are confused in some way and potentially lacking some sort of information for making a really big decision. The Six of Swords inverted says that you are meant to be moving on from something that no longer serves you, and you're struggling to do so because there's maybe a little bit of a fear or a confusion of where you're meant to go next, or at the very least you don't know what you're meant to move on to. You know you need to move on from this, but you have some things that are a little bit unresolved and that are making it difficult to do so. You're afraid of this lack of knowledge. I think that's what the Ace of Swords is telling you here. You don't know where you're going to, you just know you have to get away from whatever this Six of Swords is. You haven't quite gotten up the gumption to forge ahead yet. The Queen of Swords is your solution in this, at least partially. Divine Guardian is telling you that you are protected, so you need to not worry so much about the unknown things that lie ahead of you. Instead, you need to focus, as the Queen of Swords does, on keeping your mind clear and open and thinking very carefully about each move that you make. The Queen of Swords is either a person in your life or qualities within yourself that you need to focus on in order to resolve the Ace and Six of Swords that are inverted, and ultimately affect some change to your Wheel of Fortune here. Put emotion aside for a bit, really think about your situation and all of the aspects involved. Think very clearly about all of it, and you will find at least the next right step to take in succession. You might not know the big picture answer yet, but you'll have each of the little steps. As Anna in Frozen 2 says, do the next right thing. That's all you need to focus on right now, Capricorn, okay? Aquarius, we have for the bottom of the deck the Nine of Wands inverted, and we ended up with 4 cards coming out while shuffling. 10 of Pentacles upright, the 8 of Wands inverted, the 9 of Swords inverted, and the 10 of Swords inverted. And then the Isis Oracle has given us Scales of Balance. Aquarius, has been through something rough recently. 10 of Pentacles points to the positive side, to you having reached the end of some sort of project, some sort of goal. You've reached some sort of culmination, financial or otherwise physical, tangible security. You have reached that pinnacle. 2 tens being present, by the way, points out to me that you need to be thinking about what's coming next. What is the next path? However, I think outright the next path right now is a lot of recovery. Because in spite of this 10 of Pentacles and having reached this culmination and this positive point, everything else here points to you being extremely exhausted and having been through the ringer. While you enjoy the fact that you have reached this 10 of Pentacles, very much need to take your time recovering and cleaning up what honestly looks like a mess that was created in the process. The 9 of Wands, which is the bottom of the deck and is the overall context of the reading, points to you being exhausted and burned out. So even though you pushed through to reach this goal, you wore yourself out in the process. The 8 of Wands, inverted, is obstacles, it's a period of waiting, and it's a slowing down. And, now that you've reached the 10 of Pentacles, it makes sense that you're slowing down, but I think you're slowing down a little more abruptly. There's just something about this that it very much feels as though you ran a marathon or a 5K, and as soon as you broke through that finish line, you practically collapsed and passed out on the ground. That's very much the feeling that I'm getting here. The 9 of Swords inverted is anxiety, hopelessness, and nightmares. The card quite literally has someone who's sitting awake, grasping their face. You've either been kept up at night or you've not been sleeping well. You're absolutely exhausted, partly because you might not be getting that good sleep. And then the 10 of Swords inverted. 10 of Swords is very much rock bottom. So that is the other bright side here. There's nowhere to go but up. For you right now, Aquarius, things cannot get worse, period. They're not going to. So you can take some solace in that. Therefore, you need to focus on reviving and rejuvenating and recovering from the 2 nines and the 8 of Wands. You reached the end and you are better for it, but it was a very difficult road there. And you now need to take the time to heal and recover and pick up the pieces of what's left before you can move on to the next thing. Then decide what the next goal is and start working there. The scales of balance very much fits with this. It's plain and simple telling you that you need to reach a point of balance again. I suspect that part of what's going on here is you may have pushed yourself a little too hard to get to this end goal. Regardless of how much was yourself, regardless of how much was due to other individuals or outside forces, a mental and emotional state you are currently in is also taking a physical toll. You need to focus right now on getting yourself back in check. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, recenter and rebalance your entire being and take your time with this. Do not rush through, okay? Pisces is a little too caught up in their own head. You have 10 of Pentacles upright for the bottom of the deck, which is fantastic, but you have as your main cards Judgment, King of Cups, and 10 of Wands all inverted. So what this tells me is that you've reached an achievement, a fulfillment of some kind recently, especially in terms of tangible resources. It's not inherently money, it's anything that's an investable resource, something that can be sacrificed for the sake of gaining something else. Often material, but not necessarily. You've reached this achievement, and that is fantastic. You again, like Aquarius, have 2 tens present, so time to start thinking of what's next. I think the weight of this achievement is being lost on you a little bit, because Judgment is telling me that you are not self-aware enough right now, or you're doubting yourself. King of Cups is emotionally out of whack, moody or manipulative potentially, and the 10 of Wands is lack of prioritization. I think you understand that you're finished and you need to move on, but you're not quite recognizing just how amazing it is that you accomplished what you did. I think somehow you are talking yourself down about what you did because maybe you're trying too hard to focus on what's next, and that in turn is stressing you out because you know you need to think about what's next, so you need to figure out what's next, and that's the priority, but you're not properly prioritizing what you should move on to from here and what you should do in between. You know how sometimes when you binge a show, you need a break between episodes every now and then? Even if it's just to go to the bathroom or top off your drink or go get a fresh snack or let your dog out, you need a break between milestones in life too. You don't need to graduate, go to college, graduate, get a job, find a partner, get married, start a family, get a house, all back to back to back. You can have years in between where you're just doing things that you want instead of what everybody thinks you need to do. And even if both of these goals are wants, not necessarily needs, you can still take some time to relax in between and savor the accomplishment that you've made. Having achieved a goal that you set for yourself is fucking fantastic. And I, for one, am proud of you. You should be proud too. Along with this, the Isis Oracle has given us the Initiation card, which states, to put it very simply, in the face of any challenge, don't let yourself focus so much on the difficulty that you forget to look for the chances to learn and grow from the experience. In any time of adversity within your life, you need to be able to recognize how it is helping you and how it is meant to shape you for future challenges that will be probably more difficult. Any and all challenges and obstacles you faced while working toward this 10 of Pentacles were important challenges for you to work through. You've actually done a lot more than just achieve a goal. Be proud of your accomplishment. Take that breather, and then when you're satisfied, truly satisfied with the fact that, hey, I did the thing, that's awesome, then you can sit down and start thinking, okay, what's the next thing? Your intuition and your heart will help you figure out what the most important next step is. You got it, Pisces. And congrats. Our last reading for this video is Aries. Aries is mostly doing okay. We do have the King of Pentacles in the bottom of the deck, and he is abundance, power, and security. All in all, doing pretty well, Aries. We also have the Ace of Pentacles inverted, typically points to missed opportunity. We have the Wheel of Fortune upright, which reminds us of the ever-moving cycles and the fact that change is inevitable. And the Seven of Wands, which points to perseverance and maintaining what control you have over what you're able to do so with. The Isis Oracle has given us the Knot of Isis. The Knot of Isis reminds you that you have a unique set of skills and talents that are meant to aid you with your unique path. It also hints that you, Aries, are going through a transitional or transformational time. Don't be surprised if you see a lot of butterflies or moths or other things that are symbols of change and transformation. The Wheel of Fortune is also very much pointing to this. Things are always changing and always moving. Sometimes you don't get a chance to catch a breath. I think you've had enough of a breather though. King of Pentacles says you're pretty well set. I think you are ready for whatever this change is. Ace of Pentacles, you're not going to be able to take all of the opportunities that are in front of you. Oftentimes it is outright you are missing opportunities that are right in front of you, and you need to be on the lookout and take hold of those. I think what's happening here is because of your position, you have a lot of opportunities in front of you, and unfortunately, you're not going to be able to take every single one. There are going to be conflicts, and you're going to have to choose which ones are more important. Ultimately, any opportunity you take, I think, is going to help you through this transition. You have a good starting point for making these decisions, taking these opportunities, even if they're leaps of faith, and still getting through relatively unscathed. The Seven of Wands, as I said, is perseverance and maintaining control. So as you move through this transition and this transformation you're going through, these skills are going to help you, along with a hefty dose of perseverance. Things aren't always going to go well. Focus on persevering and maintaining control where you are able in order to overcome any of the challenges and the more difficult spots of this transformation. And you have the resources. You are well set, and I think this time is going to be an amazing one for you, Aries. Whatever goal is most important to you, if you have not already realized, will make itself known to you relatively soon. And you're going to be able to take the reins quite firmly on this and charge ahead through this change and in spite of whatever challenges this change throws at you. I wish you luck, and I can't wait to see you on the other side. And with that, that makes 12 readings for Beltane to Midsummer. Thank you so very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for your patience as I worked to get this video out as soon as possible. I'm gonna get my act together and get the next one out closer to Midsummer than this one came to Beltane. I really hope that at least one of the readings in this video gave you some much needed guidance. Even if you don't know it yet, I hope it comes to you in your moment of need when it does become relevant. And I wish everyone watching this luck moving forward, and I can't wait to see you again very soon on the other side of whatever the future has in store for you. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, and if you want to stay up to date on all of my videos as they premiere here on my channel, hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and turn on all notifications. Do you have a favorite tarot card? Let me know in the comments. If you'd like to see more tarot reading content from me, I highly recommend going and watching my entire playlist of tarot readings. Well, maybe not the whole thing, but go check it out and see what other readings might speak to you from some of my older videos. The link tree in the descriptive tone below is where you can find portals to my Instagram, Twitter, Twitch channel, and so many other social media planes. And if you'd like to further contribute to the production of content like this in the future, my Patreon starts at just $1 a month. The link to that is also in the link tree. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all again very soon. Keep aiming, my loves, and happy Beltane. Mwah!
I don't know how you do it to me, but you make me wanna fly. I'm not coming down. Maybe it's the way you move, babe, move.